All right, how are we doing, my fellow wealth and progress success seekers? People out there that love to talk about success. They want more success. They drive for more. They desire to be more, to do more in this life, to make it a better life. And that's what I want as well. Welcome to the Breaking Chains with Gordon Findlay podcast. This is my first real video for this specific podcast. And the whole goal of this podcast is to show that, is to provide a way to break our chains. And when I say chains, I mean things that are holding us back. That can be personal things, that can be mental things, it can be spiritual things that hold you back from accomplishing amazing things in life. So there's just some things that society has conditioned into us, and there's some things that we have just allowed ourselves to be hooked to be stuck to because of, that could be laziness, it could be just wasting our time on other things that are actually just taking up space and time of our life that we can get rid of and replace it with something better that will give us a better future. My overall goal is I want to be able to provide a place where people can find amazing wealth information, and they can go here, you can find the information that you need, even if you don't want to take my courses. I love that. That's okay. But I want to be able to provide you with, hey, I've studied this course, I went to that course, I looked at this person's course, I even took the course, or I went to this person's wealth program, and here's the information from it. That way you can have all the information you need to take that information and do with it whatever you desire. And you can make your own wealth path, your own ability to be financially free. Because currently the financial paths out there, they only lead you to a hopeful retirement at 67 years old. And that's just not right for the day and the world that we live in today. I mean, there's 10-year-olds that are worth $20 million, and us that have been working for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, and we don't even have $1 million in the account. That's pretty twisted. So I want to be able to set everyone as possible free that want to take that want to run with it, that want to go for the best that they can. I want to be able to provide those paths and a place where we can provide information on how to invest, on books. What's the best books for investment? What's the best real estate programs to invest in? What's the best program for Airbnb if I want to do an Airbnb? What's the best program to be the greatest salesman in the world? And I want to be able to bring that information to the podcast every week, to be able to provide new information on new programs, new information on new people, multimillionaires and billionaires. We're going to study their path of how they became who they are today. Because if we study non-multimillionaires, we're going to remain non-multimillionaires. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste my time studying a path that doesn't work. I've already done that. I've already worked that whole path, and it just didn't work out. So this Breaking Chains with Gordon Findlay is to break the chains that are holding us back, to find out which chains are holding us back, and then to break every single one of them. And sometimes they're just not going to break that easy. That's why I call it chains, because some of them are very ingrained into our heads, that it is so hard to break it. It took me 6 months to break some of my chains, and still some of the chains are still there, and I have to fight them, I have to break them, and I have to re-break them because they kind of weld back together somehow. So that's where I want to be able to relate to you. I want to provide a place where you can feel that relation and understand that I'm on your side. I completely know how you feel when you're trying to break free from your 9-to-5 job. And I just want to be able to be a wealth and success advocate for you and everyone else in this world, so that we can truly bring real wealth to everyone that wants to receive it. And we can break down any barriers, any chains that get in our way, so that we can unleash ourselves and truly see what potentials we have within us. And for this first podcast, the thing that I wanted to go into is a little of my background. I wanted to take this opportunity to share a little bit more about myself. So I started working in a company about 9 years ago in with the traditional change just hooked to my mind. I needed to work hard. I needed to save tons of money. And then after it was all said and done, I should have enough money saved up to retire by the time I'm 67. When I was able to, then I'll be able to truly enjoy myself, right? To be able to be free from the grind. And along the way, I'll just work extra hard to study, to get a degree, and in hopes of making enough extra cash to spoil my family occasionally so that we could enjoy some trips and enjoy the delights of life, right? I worked for 13 hours every single day, came home, studied for my degree at night for 3 to 4 hours from Monday to Thursday, actually. And then on Friday and Saturday, I worked another 15 hours each day on my degree, all in hopes that one day I could break free and be financially free, pay more for my family so that we could have a more stable life and be completely financially free. I did this for 9 years. Did it pay off? I did excel faster than most people around me in my company, and I had a good paying job, but with the same amount of effort, stress, physical, mental, spiritual pain that I went through to do all of that, I could have had a very successful business building on the side. I was so drawn by the requirement to just work harder, to do more reports, to keep being the absolute best that one can be, that someday someone will notice me so I can be at the top. And while they did, and that I'm very grateful to that manager for everything he taught me, but it helped me to excel in that company. But while I felt, I got to the top and I felt empty. I felt overworked and I was still living paycheck to paycheck. And that frustrated me. Why am I still feeling empty? Why am I still living paycheck to paycheck? I gave all of this time and energy to get here, and I'm still limited in my financial freedoms. And yes, I can do more than other people, and I have a better house and other things, but I don't settle for comparing myself with others. I don't settle with comparing myself with people's different situations. I only settle with comparing myself to who I can become. Then this year of awakening came. I needed a surgery for my eyes, and I'd been delaying it for years. And finally, my amazing wife sat me down and said, hey, set it up. We're good enough financially that we can at least get it done. We can take on more debt, but whatever. So after my first surgery, we get it all done, and it helped. But then all of a sudden, my oldest son had to get a surgery on his throat, an emergency out of nowhere. And then my youngest, he couldn't breathe at nights, and he would sometimes even stop breathing completely for a while because he had throat problems. So we had to go get his surgery done. And then we just hit this wall. Like, what the heck do we do now? And it frustrated me so bad that we didn't have the money to pay for all these things after all this hard work that I'd put in. But I didn't choose to just sit down and be a whiner, to say, oh man, I wish the hospital prices were cheaper, then my life would be better. Or if the company would just pay me what I'm worth, then I would have a better life right now. No, I pointed the finger at the culprit. I pointed it at me. I pointed it at me and I said, okay, I'm finally willing to shut up and to listen to the millionaires and billionaires who have already done it. They already set out the path, the stepping stones to be free from these financial chains, from these worries that we don't have to be in. And I am never going to come back to this point. I'm going to make so much money that I never have to worry about prices again. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to figure it out. Because that stress will not be as heavy as this is right now. And this is why I'm here today. Because I want to help you to hopefully so that you don't have to go through those pains and that stress and the worry of relying on your day job to pay for things. I don't want you to have to be in those situations. Even though you're still going to have bad times in your life, there's still going to be emergencies in your life. There's still going to be deaths. There's still going to be car crashes. These things are going to come no matter what. No matter who you are, no matter where you live, bad, unfortunate things are going to happen. And it's how prepared we are for when they happen that helps us get through those times even better. How prepared we are mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it is. We have to find that wealth for us, what works best for us. And that's what I want to help with all of you. I want to help you get the wealth that you desire, the wealth that you all deserve, that we all deserve. Because that's just what I think everyone deserves. And I know that when we get into those situations, it's a lot better to say we have all the money in the world to pay for all this and we don't have to worry about it. Or we have a business that's running so smoothly, we can take a couple months off to go on vacation. Or I can spend a full month in the hospital with my wife because she just had a baby. Or I can spend a week in the hospital with my son and not worry that we're not going to have enough money financially to take care of him and the rest of our life, our house, our cars, and everything else. It's way better to handle things in life with the financial funds necessary and then also to be able to enjoy life. We shouldn't be living in survival mode. We shouldn't be living restricted by the things of society, the things of the world, when there's abundance everywhere. There's so much money for everyone. You just have to be willing to do the work to achieve that money. It's practically floating in the air with all this cryptocurrency and everything else that's out there. The money is literally floating in the air. We just have to figure out how to create an electronic net that catches it and brings it to us. Who's got our money? Where is our money? How do I get my piece and bring it to me and my family? And that's what I want for all of us. So that's my first podcast. Just a quick introduction of who I am. I've been through the ringer. I've worked my way to the top of a company. I've experienced the hard work that you have to do by working endless hours thinking, if I did all this work, I'm going to make tons of money. I've talked to tons of people who went their entire lives through life thinking they're going to start a business, and they worked 40, 50 years and they just retired and they still don't have enough money to retire comfortably. That's insane. That's pathetic. We should be all retiring with enough money to not even worry about the rest of our life. But unfortunately, we've been conditioned with these bad things that we just keep hoping. We keep hoping, well, if I'll start a business next year, or maybe I'll do it next year. I just don't have time right now. I don't have money right now. I don't have this right now. I don't have that right now. But then soon enough, it's been 20, 30, 40 years. And it's like, holy cow, retirement's next week. But how am I going to do that now? I don't have enough money. I'm going to have to get a part-time job. Social Security's not going to cover it, that's for sure. Your 401k might last you 5 or 10 years, but that's not going to be enough money to enjoy life. It's just enough to survive again. We shouldn't be surviving. We're not cavemen. We are in an abundant, super abundant stage of life that everyone, especially if you live in the United States, you should be living a great life. And even if you're not in the United States, I know so many people not in the United States that are making tons and tons of money in third world countries because they're taking the actions and they don't want to live that life. They don't want to be afraid anymore. They don't want to survive anymore. They don't want to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. They're sick of it. They don't want to go to school for a piece of paper, a degree that hardly gives you anything in life. That 80% of people that get that degree, that piece of paper, within a year to 2 years, they've already forgotten all the information. I've talked to millionaires, I've talked to business owners, I've talked to multimillionaires who all had degrees, and they remembered 1 to 2% of all the information that they got from that degree. That's insane. We shouldn't be wasting our time on things that are not truly abounding our knowledge, that are not making us better for the future person that we want to be, for that wealthy person, that financially free person that we want to be, that financially free person that we want to be for our families. And that's what I really want. I just want it for you. I want it for every single one of you. I want you all to feel that feeling of breaking free from your jobs, one day. Even if you keep your 9-to-5 jobs, that's good too. That just gets extra money, but work on something that's actually going to make you a future profitability on the side, whether that's investments, real estate, Airbnbs, starting a business, buying a business. There's so much that we can do, and I'm going to talk about it in my next podcast each week. We're going to start a subject, and we're going to talk about it. Hopefully I can get a lot of good people on the podcast as well, people that are specialists in real estate, specialists in Airbnb, specialists in starting a business, and we can have more information on that end, and I can get you guys the best information that you deserve, because I'm growing too. I'm just barely starting out on this journey. I'm about 6 months in, learning all this. It's been a wild ride, but I feel 10 times more free mentally than I ever have in my entire life, just because I finally got into the road, and I feel so amazing. And I want you guys to feel this too. So here's reaching out. I hope you guys like the first podcast. I know it's not a lot of great stuff. It's just a quick introduction on who I am, what I aim to do for you and your life. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going to wealth events. I'm going to bring you all the information that I possibly can so that you can receive that new information of what's coming, what to look out for, what new opportunities are out there. And we'll just continue to grow together, and we'll enjoy this life together, build together, and use that wealth, ultimately use that wealth to actually improve this world, not just to keep it for ourselves. That's not even the goal for me as well. We become extremely wealthy to help others. We become extremely wealthy to not only take care of our families, but to have so much money that we can always take care of other people, that we never think about it. That when somebody truly needs our help, we can just give them the money, walk away, and not even think about it. That they can just receive the money that they need and have a great day, and we go on about our lives. That for me is the essence of life, is to make enough money to protect my family, make sure that we're good so that we can enjoy our family times, that I can be free from working 100% of the time, all the time, just to provide a surviving cycle, but that we're free. We can go on vacations when we want. We can take our kids to other parts of the world so they can experience different cultures, different foods, different things. They can see this world, and they can get used to talking to so many great people and experiencing so many great things. And that's really what I want to provide. So see you in the next podcast. Hope you guys liked it. Remember, break any chains that are holding you back. Take the risks, make the sacrifices, and achieve your potentials. I'll see you in podcast number 2 next week. Thanks, guys.